All right, welcome back, Sag. I'm Ryan with Arrows of Love. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube. I took a short break. If you follow my channel, I posted a video maybe a month and a half ago talking about what's going on with me. So right now, Saturn sitting in Aquarius is squaring my moon in Taurus. I've been dealing with this energy all year. And Saturn is a planet known of restriction, delay, oppression, depression, boundaries, decay and old age. And I'm a Cancer rising, so the moon is my ascendant ruler. So anytime a planet's aspecting my natal moon, tends to have a pretty significant impact on me. So I had to take some time out for me. This is the second time that Saturn perfected its square to my moon. Saturn's in retrograde right now. It squared my moon earlier this year, and I got one more to go. So, it's just the nature of the beast. Sometimes you got to take time out for yourself. But today we're going to do your mid-September 2021 reading, Sag. And there's a lot happening in the sky today and this week. Part of the reason why I'm getting back on here, I feel like I got to talk about this. You guys know what you can expect coming up here. So today, I'm doing this video on September 20th, is a full moon in Pisces. And this always occurs when the moon is opposite to the sun. The sun is sitting over in Virgo right now. So we look to the sign of the moon and what we can expect. It's the end of the lunar cycle. It's culmination of events, it's completion, things coming out potentially, because this does involve the two luminaries of the sky, the sun and the moon. So for you, Sag, Pisces is your fourth house. It is 4 signs past Sag, and the fourth house has to do with home, family, roots, foundation, ancestry, and sometimes women in your life, mothers. So there could be an element of motherhood involved here as well. So something's coming up on that front. And the weird thing about this particular full moon, and maybe it's just me, I think there's some weird energy in the air. It's toward the last degrees of Pisces, which means it's also toward the last degrees of the entire zodiac. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. It's at 28 degrees. It's going to happen tonight, right around midnight Central Time. I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So keep that in mind, depending on where you're at in the world. I have viewers everywhere. So the 27th degree of Pisces is the exalted degree of Venus. So Venus is exalted in Pisces. The 27th degree is known as the exalted degree of Pisces. But 28 and 29, a little bit different. Those are deacons ruled by Saturn. So we look to see what's going on first with the ruler of Pisces, which is Jupiter in ancient astrology. Sometimes they say it's also Neptune. Neptune's in Pisces, but Jupiter right now is retrograding through Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn's in its home sign of Aquarius right now. So this has some weird energy to it. It has to do with boundaries. It has to do with honestly, just being an adult. So it's something about having to be an adult, about something happening in your life. Saturn is the great taskmaster. It's about discipline and perseverance, true grit to get through some nasty things in life. So there could be something coming up here that requires you to be an adult or to start making some adult decisions. And adults hate making adult decisions, let me tell you. As an adult, I can just say that it's tough. It's tough sometimes. So weird energy in the air. Fourth house of home, family, roots, foundation. So those are themes that could be coming up for you overall. The sun is in Virgo, which is your 10th house, career, outward appearance. Again, being an adult. The Saturn is the lord of the 10th house. So again, there's Saturnine qualities involved here. And it has to do with insiders and outsiders, boundaries. Can be restrictive, delaying, and it could be something with work, it could be something with home. There could be some tension between the two, or a combination of them in some way is coming up for this full moon tonight. Now, what I want to talk about is what's going to happen a little bit later on in the week. So I'm going to fast forward to the 23rd. Venus right now, this is the planet of love, aesthetics, harmony, negotiating, cooperation, sensuality, friendship, sexuality. This the love planet is in its debilitated sign of Scorpio right now. So Venus in Scorpio is tricky, and there's a lot that's said about Scorpio, generally speaking, obsessed with sex, death, darkness, edgy, all these things, right? But Scorpio is a sign that we have to deal with fear, and something has to be transformed, something has to die and be reborn, so to speak. So Venus is going to go through this death and rebirth process, essentially, when it goes through Scorpio. And we can see some shadow qualities come out in for the love planet during this time. So shadow qualities of Venus would be lust, vanity, possessiveness, jealousy, fear, obsession. That's a big one. It's obsession, definitely in the sign of Scorpio. So these are all things that could come up essentially when she's traveling through this Mars-ruled house. So for you, Sag, Scorpio is your 12th house. It's 12 signs past Sagittarius. And this is also a tricky house. The 12th house is known as a hidden house. It's known for isolation and confinement. Sometimes it deals with research. If you can put the energy toward something positive. It's a house of the ethereal. I always say it's a house reserved to the universe because it's where things need to be sorted out karmically from the past and the future. So this can be a difficult placement for Sagittarius sometimes when Venus is in that 12th house of Scorpio. So you can look for those themes coming out, but it really has to do with fear. So keep in mind, if you're acting based on fear, Venus is trying to teach us your trigger points where you need to face your fears, with betrayal, death, rebirth, possessiveness, vanity, lust, all those things that humans have to go through at certain points of time. So it just happens to be your number right now, Sagittarius, while Venus is in Scorpio. Now the thing is, on the 23rd, and the reason why I bring up this date is Venus is going to be making an opposition over to Uranus in Taurus. And Venus rules Taurus, by the way. And Uranus is this planet known for shaking things up. It's known for liberation and freedom. It's known for innovation, technology. But it's also, it's electricity and shock and awe too. But for the most part, it's always known as the change maker. Uranus changes whatever it touches, essentially. And it's wanting you to rise to a higher level of consciousness. So when Venus, the love planet, meets up with Uranus in an opposition, so it's always you and someone else. Oppositions are always the nature of other people involved. The change maker, the liberator. Sometimes we can see breakups at this time, or needing to change something within a relationship. So this can go a couple different ways. So 12th house is where Venus is sitting for you. Uranus in Taurus is your 6th house. And that has to do with your routine, your daily life, sometimes work and health, your routine, essentially. But the ancient astrologers also said this is a house of slavery and bondage, something that feels weighty, going through the dredge of life every day. It's a Monday morning, essentially, where you're like, I just got to get through this day. I got to get through my routine, and it can be weighty on people. So sometimes it's breaking the chains of things that bind you. So it kind of reminds me of the Devil card in a way, in the Tarot, where you got to break those chains. Something's got to give. Something's got to be released, so to speak. So that aspect between Venus and Uranus perfects on the 23rd. Now, right around that same time, we're going to be going through the start of Mercury Retrograde. So Mercury is now slowing down in the sky. It's in the house of Libra, the sign of Libra. It's ruled by Venus. That's why I'm talking a lot about Venus today. And Mars is over there too. So Mars and Venus are both in a debilitated state right now. Mars rules Aries and Scorpio. Venus rules Taurus and Libra. So they're both in a debilitated sign. Mars is right now in Libra. That's where Mercury is also sitting. And it's coming up to what we call a square. That's a 90-degree angle over to alchemical Pluto in Capricorn. So for you, Mercury's traveling through your 11th house of friends, networks and associations, group associations, allies, alliances, sometimes financial gains. This is the house of the future. It's a very pleasant house, actually, overall. It's one of the best in my opinion, because that's kind of where all the good things happen, so to speak. There's other places too, but the 11th is usually a really great house overall, and that's a partnership sector. Libra is a sign of partnerships. It's the scales, it's balance, harmony, negotiating, finding middle ground, trying to find that win-win. So right now, Mercury, the planet of communication, what's on your mind, merchants, channels of all type, is slowing down, and it's basically going to be stationing retrograde in the next couple of days here. And while it's basically just sitting in the sky, not moving, it is forming this 90-degree aspect, the square over to Pluto. And Pluto is, planet of the underworld. It's things unseen, it's death and rebirth, sometimes riches, inheritances. It's known as death and rebirth. It's going to completely change something up. So communication could come out during this time, and Pluto is sitting in your second house of self-worth, value, money, your money, possessions and resources. So something here is going to be needing review, because Mercury retrograde is always a time of review. People come back during this time too. So maybe you hear from a friend, because it's Mercury will be retrograding in that 11th house of friendship, alliances. So maybe a friend reappears, or maybe you have to review a friendship of some type. Something comes out where you're like, what the heck is this? And you decide, maybe you got to do some realigning of friends and alliances and groups. Something here that might be a little unseemly, because Pluto can be kind of, Pluto can be really difficult. It brings up kind of nasty stuff, and it's fear-based again. So confronting fears, to be quite honest, is what it comes down to, and having to change something up. And it's something to do with your alliances and your self-worth and money. The combinations here are endless when it comes to the second house and the 11th, but it could be financial related for you, because those are financial houses. But I think it's going to be something with friends here, if I have to take a guess. So Mercury is going to be forming this square over to Pluto right as Venus is perfecting the opposition over to Uranus. So that's tricky energy overall. And then for 3.5 weeks, Mercury will go retrograde in that sign of Libra, in that 11th house of friends, group associations, financial gains, the future. Something's changing here. Something's realigning here. Something is being brought to your attention that's going to need your review for those 3.5 weeks. So essentially, from now until the end of October, we're all going to be going through this in some way, shape, or form. You're not alone, but we're definitely going to be feeling this energy. It's going to be intense. It's going to be an intense couple months. So, and it doesn't mean everything's bad. There's always good things to be found. It's going to feel like, the best way to put this is we're coming up to the fall equinox on the 22nd. That's when the sun leaves Virgo and enters into Libra. And the equinox is always where the day and the night are equal in time. But when the sun enters into Libra, the night essentially starts to take over. Nights become longer, and it's kind of like a rising of the darkness. So we're going to go through the second half of the zodiacal year where darkness is now rising. So it's just a matter of having to deal with some of the shadow qualities and understanding where our darkness resides. And we're all going to have trigger points, and we're all going to have to deal with this in some way, shape, or form, and understanding where are those trigger points and how do we handle them. And the situation will be different for everyone, but Mercury will definitely bring this about. It's going to hit that square to Pluto and then start moving backwards on the 29th. But the energy right now is building to that point where Mercury is going to be standing still in the sky. And that's when Mercury is most potent. It's true with any retrograde planet. When it's standing still in the sky, it means it's closest to Earth. And that also means it's got the most impact on us. So we're building up to the energy right now up until the 23rd, 29th. Mercury starts moving retrograde in the sky for 3.5 weeks until it starts moving forward again. So let's all buckle up. Here we go. And the other thing is there's a lot of retrograde planets in the sky. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, now Mercury. The only planets that aren't moving, and Neptune as well. The only planets that are not moving retrograde in the sky right now are Mars and Venus. So, and Venus is going to be retrograding later on this year in Capricorn, and it's actually going to be conjoined with Pluto. So we got more to come on that, and I have some thoughts about that, what that might be about. I think it has a lot to do with the abortion laws, because we first started to hear about this revitalization of abortion laws in Texas and Mississippi right around the time that Venus was perfecting a square over to Pluto. So that's when Venus was still sitting in Libra. Libra oftentimes represents the courts. It's a sign of the scales. Capricorn is oftentimes a sign of government structures, the past, the status quo. So you can see how that dynamic played out. Well, Venus is going to be retrograding in Capricorn and conjoined with Pluto. So I think the conversation about abortion rights is not done. And for those of you that know me and follow this channel, you'll know that I'm a lawyer, so I do follow these things very closely. And I'm not going to have a debate about abortion law on this channel, but I just want people to know that very well could come up again. So that's what's happening in the sky. It's intense stuff over the next 6 weeks or so. So let's do your tarot reading. Today, I wanted to talk about astrology a little bit more just because there's a lot going on, and I want people to be aware. Crazy full moon, weird full moon, Pisces at the last degrees of the zodiac. Could be anything. It's very weird energy. This opposition between Venus and Uranus happening. I think relationships will certainly be tested, but again, that's happening in your 12th house, in your 6th house. So hidden matters coming up during this time, isolation and confinement, breaking free of what's confining, what's weighty, what feels like could be chains, being bound to something that you don't want to be bound to anymore. And it's the love planet. So, this could work out many different ways. And then Mercury retrograde in that 11th house of friendship, alliances, group associations, the future. It's a lot. And we're all going through it, right? Just in different sectors of the chart. So see how this all shakes out. Keep positive. We'll get through it. It's temporary energy as always. So let's see what's going on with you, Sag. I'm going to do a modified Celtic cross for you today. 6 cards from the tarot, 1 general energy card from the Angels Oracle deck. Keep in mind, these are general readings, so the messages won't resonate with all of you. Take a look at your sun, moon, ascendant, and Venus. If it's not Sagittarius, sometimes those readings will resonate more with you depending on what's happening in your natal chart. And as always, if you like these readings and would like to see more of them, please click the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel, and it's very much appreciated from me. All right, so Sag. The Eternal Optimist. And that's what I love about you. My brother's a Sag, so is my dad. And just knowing what's going on with my brother right now, a lot of his friends moved away from his hometown, and he's going through things with friends right now. So you can see how this all plays out. So there's more to come on that story. But again, Venus or Mercury retrograde sometimes brings people back. So don't be surprised if you hear from people from the past. Old friends, old alliances, old group associations, anything to that effect could come up for you. So we'll see how this works out. This is for Sag. Let's see what's going on with Sag. Okay, feel good about that. And give the Angels one more shuffle here. I had a viewer comment on one of my videos and I shuffled too loudly. I have a marble table that I'm doing this on, so it could be a little bit loud. But if I didn't shuffle, then people would be upset with me if I didn't do that on camera. So here I am shuffling. You can hear it, right? So if it's too loud for you during this time, just turn down your volume. But I'm not going to not shuffle on camera for you guys. So I was a Scorpio, by the way, too. Anyway, okay. This is for Sag. First card out is going to be from the Angels Romance, so this is the general energy. Forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Yeah. So, you know, I just talked about Mercury retrograde. People come back all the time during that. And like I said, Libra is a sign of partnership. It's scales, it's balance, it's harmony, cooperation. So very well could hear from someone, but this is also asking you to forgive and heal yourself. The other thing, you know, with Pisces full moon, Pisces is a card of healing. It is a card of release. It's the end of the zodiac. So it's a culmination of events, and it's just letting things be and understanding that things happen a certain way. You can't change the past, but by making decisions now in the present, you can change your future, right? I mean, that's an essential tenet of astrology, the tarot, spirituality, religion, whatever it might be. So heal and release the past. So maybe there's something coming up for you, Sag, that needs some healing. First card out, this is from the tarot, so general energies, Seven of Cups. This is what's crossing you, High Priestess. This isn't the Pisces card, by the way. Destiny, this is where things are going. Ooh, the Sun, that's great. I love seeing that for you. Distant past, Justice. This is a sign of Libra. Wow. We'll get more into this. Recent past, Fire Pony. It's the King of Wands. And this is the outcome, Hierophant. Oh, that's interesting. So Aries got the Hierophant as well. I just did the Aries video. Could be dealing with an Aries. But let's start, you know, forgiving and learning. You know, that's the theme of this reading. Learning from the past. So at the center of the reading is the Seven of Cups. And this card has been coming up a lot lately too in the readings. And, you know, if you look at the Seven of Cups here, it's the man looking at cups in the sky. It's living a little bit pie in the sky here. And being a little disillusioned. So you have to be careful here. So this could be you, this could be, you know, your love interest. And the man's looking at all these different cups. And if you look carefully, there's one with a mushroom, there's one with a snake, another with a dragon, you know, and another one with a wreath. So not all of these options are very good. It's looking at options. It's having clouded thinking about things. It's being disillusioned, perhaps, about things. And you have to, this is very Mercury retrograde, by the way, having clouded thinking, being kind of confused and dazed. And this kind of even wraps into a little bit of Pisces energy, which can be very confusing at times as well. Got that full moon going on right now. I feel dazed and confused right now too with this energy. So you just have to really center the mind. And I'd say meditation is the best way to get through this type of energy, but it's very Mercury in retrograde, in my opinion, when this card comes out. And like I said, this is going to be in Libra, which is that 11th house of friendship, group associations, allies, financial gains, the future. So maybe you're just confused about the future and where it's going, and you're looking at options and you're wondering, you know, what do I do next? And the answer here is you need to use your intuition. And I wish I had a better answer for you, but I think you know what the answer is. I think you know what needs to be changed. You know what needs to be healed and released to bring in that higher form of love into your present life. And the High Priestess is, you know, this is also a card of secrets sometimes, and full moons bring out secrets. Mercury retrograde, squaring Pluto. Pluto is the god of the underworld. You know, things come out during this time. So you're gonna have to use your intuition about what's factual and what's not. Misinformation going around, perhaps, even some, just, you know, this could even be some lies coming out, and trying to decipher what's true and what's not. And you're gonna have to figure it out from right here. What's in your heart? What do you know to be truth? What does your gut tell you? You're gonna have to use your intuition here. You're gonna have to tap into that higher mind to let that guide you through here. So if you're feeling confused and you need some help meditating, look up third eye chakra music on YouTube, and use that to help you meditate, and that will help you clear the mind. Because you'll notice that the High Priestess has the opal here, and a lot of times that's an indication of having to use that third eye and your intuition. So especially to get through some of this clouded thinking with that Seven of Cups, because that's someone that's a little bit disillusioned about something right now. Now, where this is going, which I like, is the Sun. And the Sun is one of the happiest cards in the deck. So this is where you're trying to go. You're trying to bring back that happiness, that feeling of passion and romance and fun and games and pleasure. The Sun rules Leo. And Leo is a pleasurable house. It's the 5th house on the zodiacal wheel. It's a house of pleasure. It's a house of karmic joy. So you're trying to get back to this point. And you might be a little bit confused about how to get there with the current situation right now. Now, I'm just noticing this. My guides are guiding me toward this. This is not a message for all of you. This is just for some of you. You'll notice here with the High Priestess, there are pomegranates on the background here of where she's sitting. Pomegranates represent fertility. And with the Sun here, you'll notice the child is sitting on the horse. Some of you may be pregnant and not know it. So that's for some of you, not for all of you. Or maybe someone you know here is pregnant and they don't know it just quite yet. That Seven of Cups is clouded thinking and tells me someone just isn't, they don't know it yet. That's not for all of you, that's for some of you. So others of you, you're just trying to get back to this house of pleasure, being happy in love, being happy with where your current situation is at. So that's where this is going. And it's gonna take some work, okay? And this is the reason why. Distant past, justice was served. This is the card of Libra. This is where Mars is sitting right now. Mars is a planet known for cutting and severing. It's in that house of partnership. And for you, again, Libra is that 11th house of friendships, group associations. So something might need to be severed here, cut out. I have a mentor. He's an astrologer too, and I have some 11th house activation in my natal chart right now. Uranus has crossed over my moon several times, and now it's in retrograde and coming back in my 11th house in Taurus. And he told me, when your friends change, your future changes, because it just happens to be like the people that you hang out with, you take on that energy. It's kind of like the saying, you are what you eat. Well, who you hang out with is who you are too. So this could be pointing to some group association, some friends maybe that need reassessment, but justice is also a legal type card as well. So there's something here that needs to be reworked. Maybe there's some karmic justice that needs to happen. I wouldn't suggest trying to deliver karmic justice of any type, because that always creates a karmic loop. But this could also deal with the court. So perhaps some of you are considering severing a relationship, maybe permanently with a divorce. Others of you, there's already been this divorce because it's in the past position, and there's something here that's coming up. Perhaps some of you are dealing with a child. Child support might come up for some of you, or alimony might be coming up for some of you here. So something is happening, perhaps with an old relationship that's already been severed. But again, people come back with this Mercury retrograde, so perhaps there's something that has to be reviewed again, especially with this Justice card. So it's a rebalance of some type that has to happen. Now, what's underlying the entire reading is the Fire Pony. This is adventure in a lot of readings. It's seeking new pastures, being bold and assertive, having magnetic energy. But when it's underlying the reading, this tells me, this could be the character that you were dealing with. Could have been another fire sign, Sag, Leo, Aries. And at this point, the fire pony doesn't stick around too long. So if this is someone that's coming back, it could be that, you know, maybe they see the light now after being dazed and confused with other options. But, you know, the thing is, you'll have to decide whether or not that's right for you, Sag. You very well could hear from someone from the past again, someone that had this very exuberant type of energy that maybe, you know, kind of left you guessing where you stand, and they just kind of galloped off into the distance, and now they're coming back for whatever reason. And you're gonna have to decide whether or not this is something that's right for you. And remember what this reading is all about. It's about healing. So, you know, it's up to you to decide whether or not there's something that needs to be released permanently, or whether or not there's something that can be healed. Because the last card is the outcome card, and this is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant sometimes has to do with your beliefs, your morality, your higher ideals. This was originally a card associated with the church, so sometimes this has to do with commitment, institutions, organizations, whether or not you want to be attached to an organization. You know, it could be an affiliate of some type. Who knows, right? I mean, it could be many things here. You're going to have to decide what this is for you personally. But it could be whether or not you want to have a commitment with this person again. Is this old commitment healable? Is it recoverable? With Venus sitting over in in Scorpio right now in that 12th house, you know, the 12th house in Vedic astrology has to do with intimacy matters. So, you know, there could be something in there where they're feeling isolated and confined, and, you know, they're coming back to something that maybe made them very happy. And they're thinking, hey, Sag was that person. So it will be up to you to decide whether or not this is something that could have a commitment again. Maybe someone's coming back and saying, I'm willing to commit this time around. You'll have to decide that. Can you forgive and learn from the past? Or is there still things that need to be worked out? It's going to be up to you to decide, Sag. Not every relationship is meant to be resurrected. Some things need to remain in the past, and it's going to be up to you to decide. But be careful of disillusioned thinking here, okay? Use your intuition. Are things what they appear to be? You know, proof is in the pudding, right? Words only get you so far. It's all about action at the end of the day. And if words don't match action, then it's a no, right? But if words are matching action, I'd ask for proof in the pudding, right? That's what this comes down to. Your beliefs, your ideals, your boundaries. Where do you go? It's a good reading overall. Remember where this is going. It's the sun. You're going to be happy no matter what. Things are going in the right direction no matter what happens with this situation. And you're going to have to decide what truly makes you happy. Some of you, having this person in your life again might make you happy. Maybe healing the situation will make you happy. But that doesn't necessarily mean they get to be in your life again, right? You're going to have to decide this for yourself. Hope you enjoyed the reading, Sag. Until next time, take care.